First of all, this is going to shock you. I think Obama's going to win. I know that you weren't ready for that, but I think he's going to win. I think he's probably going to win by about 4 or 5 points in the popular vote. I do think the fact that he is relatively new to this game, he doesn't have the tremendous amount of experience, and he's still black, by the way, will keep this from being a popular vote blowout. It's still a country that's very evenly divided, by the way, in terms of party, even though Democrats have an advantage for party identification. The last several elections have been very close. I think this one will be less close, but it won't be a blowout in terms of popular vote. It will very likely be a near blowout in terms of electoral votes. I think Barack Obama will probably get somewhere between 330 and 350 electoral votes, which is a nice, and I think that's good for the country. I think it's good to have a decisive win after the last couple of election cycles where there were questions about it. So I look for that to happen. We have a very unpopular president. We have an economy in real crisis, but it's always talked about like as if those were just completely accidental things that just happened and have nothing to do with the context of the election. It's like, well, there was a tsunami and then there was a volcano eruption. There's a close link between the unpopularity of President Bush and the country's desire to go in a different direction. It's not like, oh, by the way, people will look at that and say, you know what, we've had enough of the past 8 years. So you have a terribly unpopular president, a country where 90% of people say we're on the wrong track, a real hunger for change, and a candidate who came along and who understood that. And not only that, Obama has run a terrific campaign. He has been focused and disciplined. I was trying to think today, the last time I heard Senator Obama get into an emotion, like, President Clinton, God, I love him to death, but he wasn't that hard to draw him into an emotional response to something, right? We've all seen it. When's the last time Senator Obama was drawn off of his message by something that John McCain or his campaign said? Doesn't happen. He is an unbelievably disciplined campaign. He answers the charges, but he always does it in a rational way. Here's the 3 reasons why that is wrong. I'm not a socialist. And by the way, John McCain has always been for a progressive tax system, Social Security, a refundable earned income tax credit, all things that are redistributionist. And by the way, here's what I'm going to do for the middle class. So, Senator Obama is incredibly good at answering the charge, getting back to his message, and not getting drawn off the game, in emotional responses to attacks. Senator McCain, not nearly as disciplined. I mean, I've been looking for a message in that campaign. It's like trying to find the prize in the cereal box. You keep digging and digging and digging, and it's like, what's the message? It is an incredibly undisciplined campaign. It has no structure and no message. And I think, by the way, so as disciplined as Senator Obama has been, Senator McCain has showed us a different side, which is that he's a guy who likes to live a little bit on the edge, doesn't he? He likes to make the surprise decision. He likes to act from the gut. That's what fighter pilots do. My father was a fighter pilot in Vietnam, same era as John McCain. That's what they do. It's one of the things that makes them great fighter pilots, right? It's instinct. That's not necessarily what has not made for a great candidate in this presidential campaign, and I don't think would make for a great president.